The Death of the Sambucus, a Berry Opera in 5 Acts. By Danielle Sainte-Marie, scene, Madeira Island, 1732. I look to purple isles of the blessed, why inside the forests of Lori Silva we do not know, temperate maybe, or only in sun divine and fluorescence glow, a teacherless test. Maybe, just maybe the stage is set, for gods they watch the life and death show, so here now, nature presents the story of the Sambucus palmensis, the tribe of elderberry. Born in the warmth, Madeira hosts the Adoxaceae family, long generations survived, and now in this particular forestry spot sits shrubs of 30, their leaves sometimes 2, sometimes 12 inches long and flowery, colors creamy or white and then turning into berries. Mostly black, blue-black, red, but yellow or white only rarely. However, eager, delicious young ones arise, already known as elders of their tribe. Under the sun, ripening, growing, and maturing along, nature a hold, maybe, or some author in the sky's deft hand, it's hard to tell when one berry starts thinking of their life's plan. What will happen to me, in this life? One asked, will I live year long? The murmuring of the tribe agreed to no law of the land. Then blue sky delivered, immediately like on an author's cue, a starling swooping down, and plucking the wondering berry from view. 2. The hearts mourned, but one berry outlaid a journey, to deep inside the forest of Lori Silva. He'd bravely go, and answer sought he from animals in the thickets, the ones who know, he'd beg tell the trees to he, and invoke the breeze for learning. But all the elderberries were horrified and screamed no. Do you, one very plump berry said, mean to be released from the stem of life? Yes, agreed another, you cannot connect back in, lest I think not without a wife. She said, batting her eyes. Travel calls, for the death of our friend I seek answers, why are we born only to ripen and be happy under the sun, and then to die? I make this journey of peril and certain hardship, for you and for I. So, twisted he circularly, while others watched their now pirouetting, berry friend dancer. Wish me well my friends, for, I want no more of us to die. He finished goodbyes to all, and you know, to the batting-eyed berry he gave pause, and he jumped down and ran into the forest, to thunderous elderberry applause, you'll know it when you hear it. In the thicket's gloom, daylight she faded to dreary, noises so strange, and close he was to some strangled woodland cracklings. He wondered if a mistake he made, for he noticed his skin now was in resiliency lacking. Eyes wide open, the thick underbrush made him increasingly leery. Something scuttled in front, the back of something. What was that? A flash of white, with something in the back rather bumpy. But quiet came, so the berry sat down, while behind him now sat a big white bunny. 3. Down came the chomp of the bunny, over, the berry thought his adventure was, before it began, as from inside the attacking mouth a few teeth began to bore into him. Life has no beauty, cried he. 'Tis a joke, but just not funny. The little berry, about to meet the reaper grim, but wait. The berry was suddenly dropped to the ground. And immediately then the bunny inspected closer what he'd found. Why were you upset and whining in my mouth? He asked. The berry, a bit of juice leaking was he, turned and said to this bunny, I don't want to die. I am on a quest to understand if life is dark or sunny, for one of our own was plucked from the sky by a starling so fast. The point you make, solid, so I must agree, especially since I, at a young age, lost to eagles my entire family. So, the bunny agreed to help the little berry. Enthusiastic, he said he knew exactly where to go, and so, deep in the bunny's fur, the berry held on in tow. After a 3 days' journey, hopping stopped for berry and furry. Then, berry drew alongside his friend, who seemed captivated by meadow. What is it? The berry asked, but then he saw, this thing so grand, so regal. No words were needed, but the bunny said, it's him, we must ask the great eagle. 4. Rumors in the thicket, of many bunny knew, that wise and enlightened eagle was, yet in bunny there was no action, just a deep lull. 4. He dare not approach this eater of rabbits lest eagle's belly was full. But look. The eagle's belly bulged, so thank you, thank you. Bunny turned to berry then and said, let's take our issue now to great eagle to mull. Berry hopped on bunny's back, and since the ride was short, he clung atop Bunny, using fur as reins, his own pure white transport. On a strong, long branch reaching out over a cliff, Eagle sat. Barry and Bunny, the meadow they crossed, to stop at the edge. The eagle, looking rather bored, said, "You both should watch out for the ledge." Barry climbed on top of Bunny's head and spoke to that. "Oh, great eagle, we have come to ask just about what you said, the ledge. Why do we have to die, to be eaten and expire? Starlings pluck my kind away. Why can't we live forever?" Steadying his intense gaze upon these two, Eagle said, "Long ago a circle was created and you and I, and everything, are of it. It is a circle of receiving and giving that none of us should wish to quit. Only the selfish wish to live forever and not be the bread of the dead. You, little berry, your plants take nutrients and land from others who might also use it. My friends, accept the circle life, we take and eat from this planet all of our lives, therefore, it is only fitting that we be a proper meal to others when we die." Part 5. To the core, Bunny and Barry, shaken were they. The great eagle was right, they had both taken from life, and, Barry thought, I had seen not the beauty but only the strife. Eyes opened, Bunny saw his family's deaths as heroic for the first time that day. They both felt homesick then, and Eagle saw it in their eyes. So, he promised to deliver them safely, each to their home, so that the thicket Bunny could comb, and the plants Barry could roam. So, Eagle swooped upon them with instructions not to fear, Barry in his beak so carefully, and Bunny in his talons, surprisingly, softly. The eagle and passengers then challenged the skies, looking, methinks, quite lofty. Bunny was gently laying onto the grass near his thicket home there, and calling out, "Thank you my friends, take my love ever so warmly." A minute later, Barry gently lay on the ground, in the middle of the elderberry 30. He cried as loud as he could, "Thank you wise eagle, for filling what was empty." The berry next made his way headlong to his birthing plant, and with great effort, he made his way to the top, only to discover that there wasn't a berry left, not one or the other. They had all been eaten, sacrifices to circle, so Barry began a chant, to appease the way he felt inside, atop his plant mother. But, then appeared a bit worn Barry that understood and was batting her eyes. "Love makes it easier," she said, and Barry's heart grew in size.